Good morning, beautiful people. Oh, it's been ages. I'm so happy, so giddy today. I'm hopefully going to have a whole day in the garden, having not done any gardening in July at all, apart from one little bit. I'll tell you about that in a second. So it's the 10th of July, and yeah, I haven't done any gardening, just keeping the column. One of my neighbours is coming over. Yeah, so I'm really happy to be in the garden today. So yes, Vivi, concentrate. I popped down here yesterday because I had my blight warning email. This is for my tomatoes. It's been the perfect conditions for blight recently. It's been warm and wet. Well, more damp. So we've just had pretty much the whole of July so far, typical Wimbledon weather. It's just been drizzly days, interspersed with a few slightly heavier showers. It's not been a huge amount of rain, and if we go quite deep into some of the beds, they are quite dry. But it has been enough to just keep everything going, save me having to come down and water. And yeah, it's been great, but it's the perfect conditions for blight. So I popped down here quickly yesterday. It took me forever to do my tomato cares, which is tying in the new growth because they have grown, taking out the new side shoots because there are new side shoots have grown, giving some of the leaves a prune, so my lower leaves off completely, some of the larger upper leaves just cut in half to reduce that sort of surface area that moisture can sit on, and then finish everything off with an aspirin spray. So it's about 10 days since I did all that the last time. I'll repeat that in a week to 10 days. If we were continuing to have drizzly days, dried, I'd choose a dry day to do my aspirin spray, but it looks now like we've got at least one dry week ahead of us. Anyway, that's by way of me saying I haven't been in the garden at all, partly because the weather's been but I've just been busy doing other things, lots and lots of other things, some of it very boring, tedious work stuff. But I've got so much catching up to do with you all. I've had a couple of days completely away in my gorgeous social bubble with Richard and Paul. So this social bubble thing was something that was introduced a couple of weeks ago, whereby a single household, I think it may have changed again now, but anyone in a single household could hook up with another household and they could interact as if they were all under one roof. In other words, we can hug. Oh, it's been glorious. More of that in the next video, because Richard and Paul, God love them, lovely, beautiful presents for my birthday, because it was around my birthday that we did it. So that was just, it was a breath of fresh air. It was so... Next video. Yeah, so all that's been going on. Ta-ra, Rusty. Oh, and I had so many lovely cards, thank you. But this one from Anita, look, sweet little Peter Rabbit card. And I suddenly had this flashback memory, which is partly memory and partly the story that my family have told me since. We lived fairly near to the Lake District as children. And the Lake District is home to Beatrix Potter's home, Hill Farm, or is it Hilltop Farm? Hill Farm. So I had just turned either 3 or 4, probably 4. Anyway, it was shortly after my 4th birthday when my family and a couple of other neighbour families decided to have a day out up in the Lake District together. So off we all sat in various cars up to the Lake District. And as part of that day, we were going to go and visit Hill Farm. it's quite a steep climb, and as you can imagine, hill. And apparently I raced off ahead of the family. I was a proper little tomboy when I was a kid. Yeah, very, very energetic, very exuberant. So I raced off ahead of everybody. And in front of the house, there's a lovely garden, little walled garden with a gate. I don't mean walled as in high walls, just low walls. I disappeared out of sight into the garden, the family following behind. And they suddenly all heard me wailing, absolutely wailing apparently. They got into the garden to find me, and apparently I was dashing around the garden, going under bushes, getting filthy, just crying my little heart out. Apparently I was inconsolable. Why? Because as I'd gone through the gate, I had been expecting to see, and this is why it reminded me, see, Jemima Puddle Duck and Mrs. Tiggywinkle were my two favourite characters. Yes, so I'd gone into this garden fully expecting to be greeted by Jemima Puddle Duck, and she wasn't there, and I was really, really devastated. Oh my goodness. So the family had to think on their feet and make up a story as to why Jemima wasn't there that day. She must have been off in the village buying a loaf of bread or something. Anyway, so thank you everybody for your lovely messages, cards and gifts. It's, honestly, spoiled princess me, aren't I? Now, one of the... Oops, I gave it away almost. One of the other things that arrived, I haven't opened it yet because I want to open it with you, but I know what it is because I saw it being made. And that lovely little card. I'll show you it in a second. This is from Jim. So the lovely Jim, hey Jim, he's been a friend of the channel for, well, since I started it. Oh, hold on a sec. Inevitable, because I haven't been here for a few days. Anyway, yes, so the lovely Jim has been a friend of the channel for the last 3 years, and on my Facebook page. And Jim is definitely a boy after my own heart. He loves a bit of upcycling, a bit of repurposing, doesn't throw anything away because it might come in useful, yay! Totally a make-do or mender, total vintage vibe going on, and he gardens. It's the most gorgeous backyard garden, as you would say in America. He's in America. So about 3 weeks ago, he took the plunge and started his own YouTube channel. Yay! I'm so pleased for him. So go on over and have a look. It's really eclectic. It's kind of similar to me in that, you know, it's not just about the garden. So all the other things he gets up to. So for instance, there's a really cute little bench build he's done. And I think it's, I'm not saying this in a degrading way. Is that the right word? I haven't got words today. But it's really simple. It's a really simple, lovely little build. I was thinking, maybe I should do one for my deck, but I don't have space now with all the pots. More of that in a minute, or in another video. And then he did this fabulous wind chime upcycle project, and then sent it to me. I'm going to have to get it out really carefully because I don't want to untangle it. Can you see? That's the... It's made... Oh, Jim, I love it. See? Isn't that gorgeous? So it's all old cutlery, silver plate, which gives it that lovely jangle, and then attached to this lovely sort of just fancy wrought iron. I don't know what this was originally. I love it. I'm so... What I loved was, I'd watched the video. Hang on, I'm going to put it down because I know exactly where it's going to go on the edge of the shed. But just while I'm talking, let's pop that there for now. I think that's got rid of Rusty. Yeah, it was great because I was watching it, the video of him making it, and I was thinking, ooh, That's a nice rainy day project. I need a rainy day. Well, I've had lots of rainy days, but no time, so it hasn't happened. But yeah, I commented and I said, oh, that's so lovely. I'll make one when it's a rainy day. And then, lo and behold, a few days later, my postman turned up with quite a heavy package. And it was that. So thank you ever so much, Jim. As I said, what I'll do is I'll put under this video, I'll do a link to specifically the wind chime video, so you can all have a look and have a think about making one of your own. But never mind all that, go and have a look at Jim's garden. He's just done a little tour video for July. It's really some absolutely beautiful plants, some great examples of upcycling, repurposing or whatever in the garden. One of my favourites is the box spring bed. You'll see what I mean if you're going over and have a look. So yes, go over and have a look. Now, my goodness, you can tell it's been a while, can't you? Because so much to catch up on my list. My list of jobs is quite extensive. So it's on A4, but they're almost all, they're just little jobs. It's like I always say, it's this tinker time. They're little jobs. They're just that kind of just ongoing maintenance. So I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into all of them. As looking at the list, this is how lovely most of the jobs are. I was thinking, oh, which one do I do first? Because I want to do them all. Is it clouding over again? It's supposed to be dry today. I hope it is. There's way more things to do today than will fit into one video, especially because I've just gabbed. So it is going to be a couple of videos, if not more. And in the next one, I want to show you my lovely, part of my lovely birthday from Richard and Paul. There's little butterflies just landed on my stage door, shed door. Can't see it on the brain at the moment. On my shed door, pretty. Okay, so it's a bit blustery outside. Darn it. What's that going to do for sound? Oh, never get a break with this weather at the moment. Okay, the first job I am going to do, reaching forward for my gorgeous real Falcos, I'm going to give the rose a prune. So there's a couple of reasons. When I gave it my spring prune, it was, well, winter, it's February, I didn't go really very hard at it. And now that we're into the height of summer and all the, the leaves are all out and the flowers are opening, it's become really evident where I missed cutting out some dead wood in the winter. So if you remember, there are the 4 Ds, well, there's the 5th D, isn't there? Damaged, diseased, dying, dead, and demented, well, deranged, disarray. The summer prune, it's really quite simple. It's 3 S's. So I'm telling you this now in the shed, just in case the wind takes my voice away out there. So, pardon me, 3 S's. Size, shape, sanitation. Sanitation, again, that's about looking for any of the diseased, damaged branches, stems. Just given the title sanitation to make it an easier mnemonic, rather than the 2 S's and 2 D's in the summer. Summer is 3 S's. So yeah, the sanitation, that's something we should all be doing with all our plants all the time anyway. Whenever we're in the garden, when we're watering, weeding, pottering, we're casting our eye over all our plants, and hopefully if something does look a bit off, we can get it out straight away before whatever's going on with that plant can spread to others. So sanitation of the rose tree, it's an absolute no-brainer, like it is for the rest of the garden. Size and shape, it's kind of almost, it's sort of the same thing. One of the reasons I want to tackle it today is for size, because it's starting to impact on that path that runs behind it, which I share with other people. If you share a path with other people, please keep it in good order, whether it's the surface of the path, so people like me don't fall over and break their kneecaps, but also any of your plants with overhanging branches, especially things like brambles, which can snag and rip clothes. That does my head in. So yes, size, it's gotten a bit big in terms of the path, but it's also trying to go through my bean arch. And much as I love my rose, my beans are far more important. So that deals with size. And shape, well, just trying to make it look pretty. So what I will do first is I will do the sanitation part first. So I will cut out anything that is dead, diseased, hinky looking, anything that looks wrong. And by the time I've done all that, it's quite possible that that will have also dealt with shape and size. If it hasn't, I will go for the size next, because that's the next most important thing to clear that path. When that's done, I will stand back, look at the shape and think, oh my goodness, I've made it really wonky, I need to even it out a bit. So yes, let's start with sanitising the rose bush. Perfect. Jim, thank you so much, I love it. Do you know what? I've got the hump momentarily. I'm here by the rose, just down there. That's where I resowed all my fennel. I only had enough left in the packet for one row. I got lovely germination. Yesterday when I was down to do the tomato cares, I had a quick look, see how they were doing. They've all gone. Slugs. And, you know, all through lockdown with my videos is that roof extension that's been going on. Roof extension just over there. It's finished. Yay! Guess what? Next door are now having theirs done. So yeah, there's going to be a bit of noise. Okay, so you can see, hopefully, this is online with my path. This is what I've got to tackle, what I want to tackle. But like I said, in terms of all the S's, I'm just going to start with anything that's obviously dead. Well, that one's just lying in there. Get all of that out, and then it'll be much clearer to see what's left to make my pretty shape with. Now, it's certainly, oh, that's all gone. It's certainly not a quick, let me say that again, it's certainly not a quick job. But why would you want a quick job on a beautiful day? I have to be a bit careful of the celery, that one celery I've kept for seed saving. I don't want to accidentally cut that off. Yes, definitely not a quick job, but that's okay. So once I've got all this dead stuff out, and then I can start to think about cutting back because of size. What I will do as I'm cutting, that's the best one. I'm going to be, when I make my cuts, I'm going to be tracing the stem back for an outward facing little sign of new growth. The idea is if all the way around I'm always looking for an outside bit of growth, it's going to grow out and up, lovely, rather than if it's inward facing, they all go into the middle and get completely tangled and snarled. The branches then rub on each other, causing little sores, disease can get in. So yeah, I want it to be nice and open in there. You can see how doing this in the winter, it is much harder to see what is dead and what's not, whereas in the summer now it's very blimmin' obvious, which is a great help. And obviously, as part of this whole exercise, I'll be deadheading, which should give me, where do I want you to go to there? Should give me a whole, oh, shut up, will you? It should give me a whole nother flush of blooms. This rose actually will flower right through till Christmas, and even just a little beyond. The only problem is when we get to that time of year, of course, the rain batters it, the wind batters it, and it is a very floppy little bloom anyway. So the minute it's anything more than a bud, the minute it's starting to open, if we get big wind, they're off. Yeah, so fiddly, time consuming, and I honestly, I can't think of a better way to spend my time today. Right, you lot, go and have a cup of tea. Let me get on with this, and then I'll show you when I'm done. Well, that was a happy hour spent. Oh, I didn't really want to be cutting out blooms, but they're almost over. The reason they came out in the end was because, hopefully you'll be able to make it out, what I've tried to do sort of in the middle here, it's really snarly, is open it up a bit more. So from this view, you see I've taken quite a bit off here. Likewise, we're going to be right into the sun. This view, so here's my poles and path. Oh, I've just left this little bit here because it's so pretty. And then I think what I'll do in February next year, I'll give it another quite hard prune, because I have taken a lot out of here and brought that sort of the top down a bit, but I'd like to bring it down a little bit more. But yeah, happy that's done. Good jobby. Oh, look, I'm going to have to try and get the camera between the poles. They are such delightful little roses. And like I say now, oh, look at this bud. Just look at this, it's so pretty. Isn't that delightful? And even before they open, they're so pretty. Look at that. Oh, it's like a little kiss. Yeah, now that, well, you can see up there are lots of buds to come. I've tried to leave as many buds as possible in my, sorry, taking them all over the place, in my prunings. Look, the majority of that is dead wood. And having got my deadwood, jedwood out, the stuff that's on the top where there's green, that's where I've been sort of concerning myself with getting it under control in terms of over the path, what have you. You know, they're still there's still a lot of rose here. Yay! Good job. Oh, that was very pleasant to do. Right, what's next on the list? You know what though? It's sod's law, isn't it? That you step back and then you immediately see... Oh, I can't do it. Oh yeah, I can. Some more deadheading. Oh, look. And another bit of dead... Oh, I need to snip that out. Look, it's inevitable. You step back and then you see... Oh, I've missed bits. Oh, just a word on the hips. Now that I've given it its summer prune, I will deadhead a little bit, but as we get into sort of September, I'll stop deadheading and then I'll leave all the hips on the rose over winter for food for whoever wants it. Now I've got to say, I've never actually seen any birds on this rose taking the hips, but they do seem to disappear over the winter, so yeah, they will start to be saved come September. Now, with all of this, I'm just going to leave it in a pile to dry. Some of it will be useful as cat deterrent, but it's not actually a thorny rose. Well, I say it's not thorny. You can see here. Can you make that out? On the really old, mature sort of branches, I do get thorns. But for the most part, sort of on all this new growth, I mean, this is sort of 2-3 years, not a thorn. So it's quite useful to deter the cats because it's wiggly and scraggly, but there are no thorns in there, which I wouldn't want to do to the cats. So yeah, I'll set it aside somewhere to dry and then use it as cat deterrents. So just while I was sort of by bean arches this morning, it reminded me, I had a comment from Rachel, thank you Rachel, asking about how I make my bean arches. Honestly, it couldn't be more simple. There are 3 upright poles on each side. So each upright pole is, where you're going to be able to see better, one of a pair, one either side. They're 8-foot poles, and then about 10 inches from the top, which you can't quite see, I lash across a 3-4 foot pole. So it's just lashed at the top, so it makes a sort of square. Plonk it into the ground, do that with 3 lots, and then you can see I've got a kind of cross poles here, so they're sunk into the ground and they're sort of lashed in the centre here at the cross, and then up either side and then down at the bottoms, and that just gives them a little bit of stability in this direction. In terms of stability in this direction, what I haven't done this year because I'm short of bamboo poles, and this is something I'm going to talk about in my next video, is I put another pole here down into the bed, one here, down into between the potato beds as flying buttresses. So they go down into the bed, up at an angle and get lashed here, and that just helps to stop that motion. This year we're going to allow a little bit more motion. Ooh, there's motion in the ocean. I hope that's not rude. I don't think it's rude. Yeah, so thank you for asking, Laura, Rachel. Who was it? Laura. No, Rachel. I was right the first time. Thank you for asking, Rachel. Honestly, they're dead simple. It takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it because by doing it this way over my paths, this space that my path is taking up, if I was to do it in the bed, all of that space is wasted. You could grow a very early catch crop in there, radishes, salads, whatever. But as the season really kicks in, there's too much shade down there. So by doing it over the paths, I've basically freed up the whole of this, what I now call my cathedral bed. That all used to be beans, and now it's not. It's squash and loads of other lovely stuff, and beans over the path. Fab! I keep thinking I'm seeing the cats out the corners of my eyes. I probably am. Okay, it's time to go and raid the seed box again. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm on to a 3rd sowing of something today. The weather has no idea what to do today. It's just gone really dark again. and yeah, some pretty big black clouds. You know what, if we get a bit more water, great. Okay, so at the moment I'm having out the lentils from here. They're just not happy, they're obviously not happy. I don't know quite why. I have a feeling that, when did they go in? May? Oh, possibly, yeah. Look, they had 2 months of no rain. I did try to keep them well watered, but yeah, they're a bit of a no-show. But you know what, that's fine. I was planting them as much as ground cover as for the crop, and to be honest, harvesting them and processing them is so fiddly. I'm not bothered. So out they jolly well come. At the far end of this bed I had the 3 remaining, broad bean plants. They leaving them for seed. So I've just pulled them out. Their roots are still down there, that's fine. I don't mind that. Just a quick scratch over of this bed, and then I'm going to sow some more salads. This one, so over the last couple of years I've sown one called Reuben's Red, and I wasn't able to get seeds for it this year, but I was kindly sent this one called Red Sails, and it's as near as, darn it, isn't it? And then this one, so that's from West Coast Seeds, a lovely seed company. And then from Premier Seeds, I was also given this one, lettuce, what's it called? Salad Bowl Red. So I'm going to sow these. I'm going to do another sowing in the salad bed, but these today are going to go where the lentils weren't. And you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? Be prepared to change your plans and things, because like I say, the lentils weren't coming to anything. They're a fiddly crop, and actually I will enjoy eating loads of salad over this summer. It doesn't feel like summer today. Hi.
Hello, are you alright?
Yeah, how are you all?
Yeah, good, thank you. Return to autumn.
I know. So I'm not doing anything with this bed other than it's just had a bit of a scratch. There was a top dressing of compost on here that I chucked over the lentils. If you remember, when I put the lentils in, I sort of scattered them, scratched them in a bit, a little tiny bit of compost over the top. So it's actually quite nice and loose and friable for sowing, for which I need to take my gloves off. Once I've done this, I'm not going to show you all my resowings today, don't worry. Once I've done this, I will go over into the salad bed, resow, or sow more. I'm going to use all of these, I think. So more lettuce over there. I still haven't sown lettuce in the parsnip bed yet. I'm still waiting to see if that second sowings will come, so leave that alone for now. And then I'm going to move on to the blasted carrot bed. I mean, I have to have carrots. Can you imagine your winter meals without carrots? All the lovely soups and stews and gorgeous hearty winter meals. No, I love my winter meals. So yes, I should be sowing again, for goodness sakes. I have once in the past had to sow 3 times. So I shall remain hopeful. I'm going to use different seeds today. It's still Autumn King carrot, but different seed company, different seeds, and I hope I hope it will do the trick, because the other thing about the carrots is a lot of my winter eating is stored produce. So carrots and my brassicas, they're the two fresh things I really enjoy through the winter. Oh, the brassicas. I'll talk to you about that in the next video. If the rain holds off today, if I get all my second sowings done and the rain holds off, I'm going to carry on today in a separate video, and I'll talk about brassicas then. Okay, nice, quick and easy job to do. Boom, onto the other salad beds. Let me get my hands on you. This really is Wimbledon weather, isn't it? We're not forecast rain. It's looking pretty murky up there. Fingers crossed, because I've still got a lot to get on with today. But, hold on a tick. Blueberries, my first ever homegrown blueberries. It's that gorgeous combination of sweet and tart. Oh, it's making me salivate. Yes, so good little job's done this morning so far. I'm really glad to get the rows. I mean, I've really hacked it, but it'll take it, that's fine. All my reseeding done. The whole carrot bed, literally all I've done with the carrot bed this time is I took the cover off and I've gone with a packet of seeds. No drills, no lines, nothing. Just gone like that, give them a bit of a scratching. The ground is beautifully moist. Oh my goodness sakes, let's hope so. So, this has been quite long already. Hang on a tick. What a pleasure that is. Blueberries are so expensive to buy. So expensive. They're completely off limits to me. So, you know, occasionally I've had them when I've been to a friend's house to eat. I'm going to gorge myself on every single ripe one now. Am I going to get tummy ache? No. How rude of me, sorry. Would you like some? Sorry, there's none left. Yeah. That's that's quite enough for one video today, I think. There was a lot of catching up to do. I've just broken my peg. Never mind, I'll fix it. I've got plenty more to be getting on with in the garden now. So hopefully, I'll get it back on. Have I done it upside down? What have I done with that peg? Doesn't matter. Yeah, hopefully the rain will hold off and I can crack on with a load of other jobs. I'd kind of, like I said, I made that really long list and divided it into 3 sessions for myself. The end of this session now, I'm supposed to be turning the compost heap. The square black bin has got a bit of sort of dryish brown stuff in the bottom. The big round bin, that's nearly full, but in the top I'd put a load of green stuff the other day, a week or so ago, and then I'd emptied a bucket of wheat or something in there, or maybe I just emptied a watering can, keeping it moist. But the top's gone actually really quite soggy, a little bit slimy even. So I want to turn it, and where I've got that really wet stuff, get it mixed in with the dry stuff, get a ton more air in there again, because I'm so determined to have some decent compost. I want it basically for the autumn. Well, actually it'll be before the autumn, when both beds of onions come out, they will be filled with brassicas. Oh my goodness, the brassicas. I'll catch you up on that in the next video. But brassicas will go in both of those beds, and because the beds will be exposed all winter, we saw what happened to any of my exposed beds this spring, concrete, it was hideous. I'm determined that that's not going to happen again. So when those two beds get replanted, I want a whole compost bin full so I can put it on the top as a mulch. So even if those parts of it aren't completely composted down, I don't care. They're going to go on those beds as a mulch to try to stop that concretiness happening again. You know, if you have no rain for 3 months on clay soil, pretty much whatever you do, you're going to end up with slightly hard soil, but hopefully less hard than it was this year. Right, I've spotted a few more blueberries that I'm going to scoff, but only after I've said cheerio to all of you. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garden this morning. It's been so lovely to get back down here and get stuck in and do some work, especially having you guys hanging out with me too. So I will see you all again very soon. We'll talk about brassicas. Bye for now.